My name is Tejada. I've been coaching for 22 years. I coached in high school, coached in college, and right now I coach at Southeast Elite. Everybody has their own ways, but my particular belief in it is when you get them on the AAU circuit, you don't have them all year long, so you want to teach them more how to be better players, but also know how to carry themselves and be better men. It's a certain way you got to carry yourselves up. You can see the media has changed a lot of things. Guys have to mature a lot earlier in life than we did when we played. So at the end of the day, you got to teach them how to carry themselves and what other guys are going to look for as far as quality as a basketball player, quality as a man. Because if you do the statistics, only 0.9% of basketball players get full rides at Division I schools. So what's going to be the selection for you than everybody else? That's the question. We have actually this year's kind of unique. We have a couple of kids that have been playing with me for a little while. We have one kid this gonna be his last go round because he's gonna sign after this live period. And we have one kid that's with class, and that could be, have a lot of college on Sandra Noel, and we have about 6 guys that can definitely play on a Division I level. And our goal is, this is not Division I, our goal is for them to get an education, go to school for free, and just teach them how to take care of themselves and their families. So that's the most important thing. The last 2 years, my son's team, we were the Florida Flash. We combined with Southeast Elite. We had 7 kids go Division I from that program, and last year, my nephew's team, we had 6. So we've been doing pretty good. It's definitely on the up. It's on the up. If you do the statistics, a lot of kids from Florida, we're beating a lot of states as far as signing kids Division I. A lot of people don't look at Florida as a basketball state. If you look at the numbers, Florida kids that play basketball are going to school. Can you get a pickup game like you can where I'm from, New York, and just go and play and get some good run in the park? Probably not. But when you do statistics, you'll get 75 kids going Division I in basketball opposed to maybe 35 in New York. So, you do the math, a lot more kids are going to school from the state. I haven't really experienced that much. Honestly, I've pushed some kids to play football that I felt that wasn't going to get basketball scholarships. So it's not, I won't say it's easy, but when you're an athlete and you can run and move, and you can get a scholarship in football in South Florida. So I actually have pushed some kids on the contrary of schools trying to steal our kids to play football. Because most of the kids that want to play basketball in the state are basketball players. Some of them played football, growing up, but football is a sport that you gotta love. You can't just play it because you want to play it. So after a while, once the love grows out of football, some of these kids don't want to play anymore, and they stick to basketball. So it's kind of turning into that. But one thing that we try to teach is you got to be great at something, and you got to be good at everything. If you're just good at everything, then you just blend in, and then no one really wants seeing the use of you. So, basically what I feel like a lot of kids are lacking, and I blame basketball on this, is a lot of kids are lacking fundamentals because people are just recruiting athletes and athletic guys that don't know anything about the game. So, in my era, you had to know how to play in order to get a scholarship. Now it's basically, if you're a good athlete, you got what I call the eye candy, you're 6'6", and you're bouncy, you're gonna go to school. And that's why we got over 600 transfers every year, because a lot of kids that go ain't built for what they look like they was built for when they was going. So, and it's a little with the NCAA. I blame a lot of folks because the colleges don't get a chance, to credit them to come out and see players as much. So a lot of kids that are bouncy and don't really understand how to play that much, they get the first crabs and the first looks. There's a lot of kids out here that have the fundamentals and can play, and that's why you see these lower major schools, getting into the high major guys, because a lot of kids don't understand how to play. I think the guys that coach combo guards, they don't make it fun. So they need to answer that question. I ain't into the combo guard thing, honestly. Point guards are point guards, and I think that you're born a point guard. In the NBA, you can get away with it and fool around with it a little bit and sell tickets because they're athletic, and the NBA you can't play defense anymore. But when it comes down to it, and if you look at all the finals and all the teams that won championships, even in the NBA, everybody had a great point guard. And if they didn't have a great point guard, they had a person at a position that was a point guard, but maybe in a bigger body, the LeBron Jameses of the world, you know, things like that. But every team, if you look at it, always had a really good point guard. Now, he don't have to be the all-star, he don't have to be an all-star point guard, but he has to be a point guard that can run a team. And every team that you see that wins, from, you talking about the 70s to now, all had good point guards. Just like in football, you see everybody's in the SEC football and everybody ramps and raves about that, but where all the quarterbacks from? All the quarterbacks that are successful in the league are from little colleges. Why? Because they're accurate. They're not just throwing the athletic guys that can jump to the moon and catch the ball and you can throw it off and they're still going to catch it. Every quarterback is from a small school. Why? Because they got accuracy. They can throw that ball right straight to somebody and it's going to hit them right in between the legs. If you do your homework on the quarterbacks, ain't nobody from Florida State, ain't nobody from these big time schools that's really successful. It's the Middle Tennessee states of the world. It's those little schools that, why? Because fundamentals is key at a quarterback position, and it should stay like that for basketball. Because without a good point guard, you can't really be a successful team. Absolutely, and they went as far as changing the rules now. I mean, you can't literally play any defense anymore. So it gives those guys the opportunity to stay alive because, you know, what happens? Cameras and dunks and videos, that sells tickets. You know, that gets everybody thinking they can do that. There ain't 100 LeBron James in the world, not 100 Westbrooks, it ain't 100 John Walls. You know, them guys come once a generation. So at the end of the day, you got to also realize that there are kids that can play at that level, but they try to facilitate the game so those guys can stay in existence, so to speak. You know, so that's why you see the game and how it is now. It's you know, it's really disappointing. You know, I consider myself a basketball guard. It's disappointing sometimes to watch it. And the guys that are basketball guards that make money commentating on it, they know it's disappointing too, but they're just trying to, you know, go with the trend of times. But I mean, some of these plays, you watch the playoffs now, you look at it like, come on, are you serious? You're gonna call a flagrant foul or something like that? You know, it's just ridiculous now. But at the end of the day, if you want to coach in this business, you want to stay in this business, you gotta give the kids the tools to be successful in what they want to be. And you know, you just gotta try to work with them and teach them the best way you can to be, you know, at least somewhat ready for the next level, whether it be NBA, professional, or just in life in general. So yes, I mean, just look at the guys that leave and go to the NBA. Check them out in 3 years. They're not playing no more. They're either overseas in China. I mean, you know, you got your diamonds in the rough, you know, geographers that'll be successful. One or two guys, you got the Kyle Andersons that's really good, that's a good friend of mine, a good friend of his dad. And he's really good, and he's, you know, he didn't even get on the floor already, you know. So these guys go into the draft, you know, it's 3 years and you're done. So if you start looking at that, and let these reporters start looking at the guys that go in for 3 years, again, you look in the NBA. A lot of guys that are successful are the guys that went to smaller schools and that have long careers in the NBA. I'm not talking about the one and done guys. I'm talking about the dudes like Kyrie Leonards and the guys like that went to lower schools and understood how to play and got better. You know, those are the guys who become all-stars. You know, you got your diamonds in the rough. Of course, you don't have anybody can pick the 1, 2, 3 guys in the classes. I mean, Stevie Wonder could do that. It's not hard to pick who's the best in the 1, 2, 3, but you know, some of these guys are going to struggle, and they'll be in the league for 3 years, and they'll be playing in China. They'll be making money and stuff like that, but they lost out on a degree that they didn't get, and they should have stayed in school. You know, and that's a big thing of mine. I would respect it if they had these kids go to school for at least 3 years. One thing I've learned in this business, I don't direct any kid to any school, and even my son, I didn't do it. You pick the school you want to go to, because when things ain't going right, you're not going to tell me that I told you to go to that school. You got to pick your own school. But you do want to get your kid to a school that developing is going on, getting better is going on, and hopefully you try to instill that in them when you have them, so they understand what good drills look like. They understand what development is, and you give them the pros and cons of every school that that's looking at them and stuff like that. That's how you work with them with that. But just because you go to these popular name schools, I mean, Calipari got some guys in the league, but Calipari also got a lot of guys that ain't playing basketball in the league anymore either. And people don't realize, you know, people left for Calipari. At Kentucky went pro, how many guys are playing? You know, the elite, one or two of the elite ones are really doing something in the NBA, the rest of them, where they at? You know, you can't consider John Wall and Derrick Rose. What about everybody that went to the league with in that class? Where they at? In Europe somewhere. Like, this class is gonna be, there's gonna be one good guy out of this whole group, and the rest of them gonna be in Europe somewhere.
You call that a failure?
Yes.
A person playing over overseas?
No, I don't call it a failure. I call it a failure that they didn't finish school.
Okay.
That's the failure.
That's the failure
to me.
Of not getting the education.
Not getting the education, because if you bust your knee up, break your leg, them overseas people ain't calling you no more. So you need to walk out with something. My thing is they're using you, so why don't you use them and get what you can get for free? And that's a degree. And then basketball ain't going nowhere. I tell people all the time, you've been struggling and you've been poor for 20 years, what 2 more years gonna do? It's not gonna kill you, you know what I'm saying? Like 2, 3 more years of being struggling and poor ain't gonna really kill your family. They've been struggling for this long. Don't get me wrong, if you're a die-hard, drop-dead, don't need college basketball player, I can understand, you know what I'm saying? But it's very few. There's very few. They come very few far between. You just go into the league and be instant impact. There's very few of them, and you know, it should be, I don't know how they can work it out, but you know, everything's about money, so it's selling, and that's the problem. It's not gonna stop. I really think there's something that's good, because, for example, if a kid is coming from a rough neighborhood or a rough background and parents don't make a lot of money, he'll get some Pell Grant money to be able to survive. But say if your parents do decent and you can't get no money for financial aid because you don't get your financial money back, now you're the one that's kind of struggling because your parents make a decent amount of money, you don't get your Pell check back. So I think it should be prioritized, and I think that all athletes should make a little bit of money where they feel that they can survive and be able to live a decent type of lifestyle, opposed to just not being able to, you know, to do anything at 17 to 22, 23 years old.
You think that keeping more kids in the NCAA longer than, you know, leaving, you know, if they know they can live comfortably off the stipend and get their education,
no,
that's not going to keep them away from.
But it'll help the ones that do want to stay in school. But the guys that are getting bombarded by the NBA, they're not going to. They're bombarded by guys that's telling them they're going to be this and that and the other. They ain't going to help them. $1 million from a couple $1,000 is not even a comparison. You know what I mean? If I'm telling these kids right now they going to the NBA, they got $1 million, they going. I give them $2,000 or $4,000 in college. They don't care about that. But they don't see 3 years from now. You know, and that's the problem.